Early afternoon. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and this is going to be a new episode, and this is going to be a new direction as well. I've been talking about for quite some time. I'm going to be starting a segment, and this is episode 1 of how to silver stack and the importance of silver stacking, especially when the gold silver ratio is above 80 to 1, which means you can get 80 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold. So I'm going to be teaching everybody the importance of just the difference of buying it at 95 to 1 just a few months ago and today's current value at just under 85 to 1. I'm going to teach you how, even though it may not look in the bottom line, how you can actually increase by several hundred or several $1,000s in a very short amount of time within the exact same bar of silver you hold. It just is a determinant on where you buy it according to the gold silver ratio. You don't even need to worry about the price of silver. I'm going to show you the most important and the most valuable information you've ever seen about stacking silver. Just a quick synopsis. Most people prefer a 2 to 1 buying gold to silver. Most financial advisors or anybody running your portfolios, they would suggest you buy 2 parts gold, 1 part silver. I find that absolutely mind-boggling and stunning. I own, for just transparency purposes, I own 5 ounces of gold, approaching 900 ounces of silver, several ounces of precious metals, and the platinum variety as well, and then some copper. But the importance right now is not to be buying bars of gold. Right now, gold and silver ratio is at 84. Where is it at right now? It was almost 85 to 1 this morning. The gold-silver ratio, as of now, is at 82.59, so it dropped down a little bit from this morning's high. As silver's down, currently 2.75%. It was down up to almost 5% this morning. So silver has had a little bit of a fight back right now. But even at 82.6, and this will help my point even better, we'll just say 83 to 1. So instead of buying the ounces of gold, and this is going to be very, very interesting and informing, and this is Silver Stacking Episode 1. A majority of this audience will not find this valuable because you don't appreciate precious metals. But for the ones who want to understand why I stack silver, when the ratios especially are over 80 to 1, I'm going to show you a very broad array of how to do this. I'm going to show you exactly what it means, and I'm going to show you exactly what it can do in a very short amount of time. We'll catch this on the other side of the intro. Good afternoon. Welcome back, everybody. 12:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, January 23rd, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I want to thank everybody back for the first episode of Silver Stacking. So the first thing we're going to do before we talk about the ratios is I'm going to show you guys some of my precious metals. For the first time, I'm going to show you what the difference is between a 1 ounce bar of gold. I've got derivatives, even a 5 gram bar. I don't want to bring out all the gold because they're in from 1 gram all the way up to an ounce. I've got silver bars from a kilo, 10 ounces, 5 ounces, 3 ounces. I've got an ounce bar so you can see how small it is. I've got a silver, I don't know if I brought any silver rounds, the 1 ounce ones. No, I might have brought one out. Yeah, I brought 1 silver round. And then I've also got an ounce of platinum so I can show you what that looks like as well. So the key thing right now, so 1 ounce of gold looks like this. So if you've never seen an ounce of gold, this is a PAMP. That's 1 ounce of gold. That runs $1,921.91 minus spot right now. So that's 1 ounce of gold. 1 ounce of silver, if you're looking at a small silver bar, in comparison, there's not much of a difference. This is 1 ounce of junk silver, basically. That's 1 ounce of silver. Now, this is a 5 gram bar of gold. So you see the difference, 5 grams. But look how small this is. Now if you get into the silver, now you've got this one's a 5 ounce. We've got a 3 ounce bar of silver. But now when we get into the bigger ones, this is a 5 ounce of silver and a round. That's a silver round. I don't buy any collector ones. I buy silver rounds and silver bars. That's a 10 ounce silver round. So that was the 10 ounce bar of silver. Now you get into the kilo. The kilo looks like this, and it's pretty heavy actually. And silver is much heavier than gold. So after a while, it starts to become a weight issue. So you're not just keeping it in the house on your floor. I'm telling you that right now. You can't keep it all just on your main floor. Unless you have cement floors and you can dig into it. If you have a traditional setting, silver, once you get over 400 or 500 ounces, it gets really heavy. Now we can go into, what does platinum look like? I didn't grab the smaller variations. I only have the 1 ounce bar. So that's what an ounce of platinum looks like. And that will run you right now $1,043 an ounce. That I don't trade for anything. Now, I showed you this silver and gold just so you could see it for the first time what it looks like. It looks a lot different than paper money. That's real money. That's God's money in front of me that I'm showing you. So the importance of stacking these, the silver round, silver bars, and this is your Queen Elizabeth. The value of stacking these over this right now, instead of this, no reason to buy an ounce of gold when you can buy silver for 22, what is it right now? 23, 24 an ounce, and gold's up to 19, 21. Forget the price. It's 82.6 to 1 the ratio, which is still over 80, a fantastic ratio. So let's say I have 82 ounces of these that I bought, right? So when it was 95 to 1, let's just take the example of 95 to 1. A lot of people bought from 95 to 1 area because I talked about it so much when it was over 90. And just to verify that somebody has bought at 95 to 1, Pieter, thanks, Tom, as usual, great input. I did what you said, or did what you did when ratio was 95 to 1, because I only show what I do. I don't tell anybody to, if you want to mimic me, you can. So when it was 95 to 1, so now 95 ounces of this to 1 ounce of this. 95 ounces of silver. This is a 10 ounce silver round. So 9.5 of these equal 1 of these. So 95 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. At the time, it was 95 to 1. That means right now, I only need to bring 82.6 of these, which means I get to keep 13. Well, we'll just say it's at 82 to 1 or 83 to 1. So right now, I only need to bring 83 ounces of these, which means from the 95 ounces I bought, instead of buying this, I get to keep 12 ounces of my silver in this demonstration, but they will also give me an ounce of this for the other 83 ounces, 82.6 to be exact. But that means I have 13 ounces of these already to keep for free. So why would I buy these at 90 to 1 or 95 to 1 or even 80 to 1 when I can buy these and exchange it at a cheaper value for this? So the point is when gold and silver ratio gets back to 40 to 1, because if you look at the gold silver chart, we don't like to hang around these areas very often. We don't like to hang around these areas very often. And this is when I begged. This is when I pleaded back in here. September, I was buying a shitload when it broke around. Anywhere over 90. I bought several hundred, probably 300-400 ounces in this period. The most probably I ever bought in a short amount of time. It was just, the ratio was so ridiculous. Now, if you just look back, and we don't even have to go back that far, ladies and gentlemen. If we just go back to February of 2021, March of 2021, when I first started telling everybody about the power of silver stacking when we get to 80 and 90 and 100 to 1, this was the range when I first started on YouTube. So back then, I was buying a little bit more gold in relation. I was still buying more silver, but I was buying more gold as well. That's when I was starting to buy gold. But there was also another area where I refused to buy gold, and it was when it was way up here. I bought my first ounce of gold before I understood silver stacking, and I think the ratio was about 86 to 1. And once I realized what I did, I was like, oh my God, what an idiot. And it wasn't that the prices were crazy. I bought some ounces at 1,600, some at 15, some at 17. I think one at 1830. That's the highest I bought one. And then I bought grams here and there, but I realized, why am I doing that? I'm just going to buy silver once I realized what I was doing after a few years, of studying and figuring out the processes. I'm like, all right, I'm going to silver stack. So now I've got all these ounces of silver at 95, 90 to 1. That if, just let's say the ratio gets back to 61. I firmly believe we're going back to 40 to 1 and then ultimately 15 to 1. It should be about 3 to 1. So the ratio right now being as great as it is for an ounce of this, an ounce of this, and how many of these you have to buy, it's ridiculous. For this ounce, you should only need about 3 of these, historically. But right now, for one of these, you need 82.6 of these. So if it goes back to 40 to 1, if you buy these at 82.6 to 1, and it gets back, and ultimately it gets back to 40 to 1, well, you get to keep 42 ounces of these, and they will give you one of these for 40 ounces of silver, which means you've now got a half price bar of gold, and you get to keep 42 ounces of silver out of that original 82.6 purchase when it gets down to 40 to 1. That is a crazy relation, and I think a lot of people are missing the boat here because they're buying gold instead of silver, and they're not paying attention to the gold-silver ratio. I love crypto. I love doing that as well, but the silver stacking right now, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, real talk. With the US dollar currency index so volatile, as gold and silver rises and falls, it's directly related right now in the US to the price rise and fall of the DXY, the US dollar currency index. That's by design. In other parts of the world, gold and silver are at all-time record highs. Not in the USA. Not because of JP Morgan and the mass manipulation. But this is a way, I promise you, that can get you leaps and bounds ahead. And I encourage you, take this advice of silver stacking. This is episode 1. And in a day or two, I'm going to do episode 2. We're going to do 3 to 5 of these a week until everybody understands the importance of silver stacking. Let me know in the comments if it helps seeing what precious metals look like, the different variants. And also let me know if there's anything else you would like to know about precious metals.